Great. Hello. Man, I feel like I'm just about touching the ceiling here. Just don't lower that any lower. I'll bang my noggin. Well, it's good to see you. No one on the front row. Who's going to come and sit on the front row for me?
I am.
Now have one. Excellent. Excellent. Well, it's good to see you. Hey, I just want to say thank you. Oh, front row. There's one on the front row here. Excellent. What you've done, Pastor Steve, is put too many padded chairs. We put the best padded chairs in the front two rows. That gets them all, you know. All good. Hey, you have great pastors in Steve and Wendy. I think we should give them a hand. Great pastors in Ash, right? Ash? Did I get that right? Ash, my brother's name. You're great pastors. Thank you for building a great church. You know, it's difficult to build churches. It's difficult. We have a whole range of challenges. And these guys, your pastors, have done a great job. I encourage you, just as Paul encouraged all of his churches, whilst he is praying for them, he's saying, please pray for me. So you need to be praying for your pastors. As you do that Bible reading, have a look at your brochure in the morning. Lord, bless Pastor Steve and Wendy as they go about their day. Encourage them, because as good as they'll get is as good as you'll get. Yeah? The more blessed they are, the more blessed you are. There used to be an old saying, just got to keep the pastor poor. Well, the poorer you keep your pastor, the poorer your church is. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Hey, I want to thank you, Pastor Steve and Wendy, for having me. Are you going okay, like being sitting separate? Do you need to come and meet with me after and have a chat? So what do you say? Shouldn't they sit together? Yeah. Come and sit, especially wearing burnt orange. It's all good. Let me introduce myself to you. My name's Darren Hultgren. I've been a pastor for 20 years. I have... fantastic. My dad's 85. He's retired now, but he's been in ministry since he was 18 years of age. Went to Bible college at 18. Before he graduated, it was a living Bible college back then in Richmond, Victoria. Before he graduated, the head of the Bible college came and met him and shook his hand. In his hand, he passed on to him a £10 note, it was pounds back then, and a train ticket to Bowen, Queensland, and said, you're going to pastor a church up there, see you later. So at not even 21, haven't even finished his degree, he got on a train from Victoria, went up to Bowen in Queensland, and there pastored a church of 80 people. It was a AFG church actually, well ACC now, yeah. And he was the only white guy. Church for Thursday Islanders, and just him. This skinny, lanky guy like me, I've got his DNA. Well, I'm working on just changing it slightly from the skinny, working on that. And he's been a great minister ever since, reached lots of people for Christ and developed lots of leaders and pastors and churches. So it's a good thing. So I've been married 26 years to the same woman. That's always a good thing. Yeah, that's all good. But actually, you should be clapping her, because I'm a pain in the neck. So that's a guarantee. I also have two daughters. One is 22, the other one is 19. The 22-year-old gets married in January, and they're taking all of my money, which is good. I wish I had sons. Sons are much cheaper. They just eat you out of house and home, but women just want money spent on them. It's clothing and nail polish. I'll never forget being on holidays one day in Mandurah, pointing south, and I was reading a book up in my room, and then I went to hang out with family. So I thought, I'm being rude. I've been reading for about 3-4 hours on this history book. Actually, it was Black Hawk Down. The book is way better than the movie, by the way. And so I thought, look, I'll put the war history book down. I'll go and hang out with the family. And so I walked in there, and the place stunk with chemicals. And there they are, all sitting there with their feet up on the coffee table with like 50 different colours of nail polish. I'll look up, putting the colours on, taking them off. Put a different colour on, taking them off. I walked in, God, that stinks, and then walked back out again. Didn't hang out with them for 2 more days. So that's been my life. No male contact, just women around me. Even our cats are female, for goodness sake. Do you feel sorry for me? Yeah. But hey, I'm getting a son. I'm getting a son-in-law in January. He's reasonable. So I've had three of the best jobs in the world. They all start with P. The first one, I worked at Peter's Ice Cream. Come on. Come on. That's a pretty good job. Working in a freezer your whole life. Pretty good. I was also a police officer. My second job was police officer. I was a police officer for about 8 years. And I'm just looking at you, seeing if I recognise any of you. There's a couple of you here that I know. Just look at the sign over there. There is no escape. Very good. And look, I've been a Christian for 3 years before I was born, so, but I'm bad. You look at me and go, oh, great, a lovely Christian pastor, Christian policeman. No, I was bad. I used to, around 9 a.m, when I was having to work on a Sunday morning, I would go and pick a spot that was in between about 6 or 8 churches. You know how you get an area where there's a number of churches around, and I'd just park my car, set up the old radar gun, beep, and there are all these churches running late. Get in here, champ. So, any reason for you doing 85 in a 60 zone? I'm late for church. So, is it right for a Christian to speed? Oh, they'd be packing their dacks. Packing their dacks. I never gave them a ticket. They should have. But I put the fear of God into them. Fear of God into them. I remember one time, this is at 405, this is back in the 08 days, so we're talking about back in the 60s, folks. Back in the 80s. And I remember I was doing an RBT and pulled over this priest. And the guy said, I'm a priest. I haven't had anything to drink. What do you think? I come down on the last rain shower. Blowing this. He blew .07. And I showed it to him. And now I went off my trumpet. I just gave it to him and said, how dare you as a man of the flock, believer or leader of the flock? And he says, but I had to finish off the communion wine. I said, really? Why did you have to finish off the communion wine? Because it's holy, it's been blessed, it can't be left. Oh, so you finished off the rest of the communion bread as well? He just looked at me. He said, if you finished off the rest of the communion bread, you wouldn't have blown 07. Just a little bit of useless information there for you. So I just gave it to him. He drove away packing his dags thinking this blue angel had just come down and given him a little whack of the trouser from God. It's our responsibility to be light in the world, to be a blessing to those around about us. And though I've told you a couple of nasty stories, I did encourage everyone to be better in their life. I would go out of my way to wreck a bad guy's day and go out of my way to make some good person's day. And that's what we should always do in our life as police officers. Oh, sorry, that's not you. That was me. And it's not me either. I haven't been a policeman for a long time now, but it seems like yesterday. Also, I've been a pastor, so now you know about that. We planted our church 13 years ago. The church is near the university. We reach lots of university students. And so it just happens to be in those western suburbs around there. And, you know, we do our best to try and reach as many people as we can. There are people that we reach that are outside of our area, inside of our area. We don't care, as long as they're human, we'll do our best to reach them. Because the deal is this. The deal is God has given us this responsibility to reach the people in our area. I made a point of looking out as I drove from my home to here this morning, and on my way, Pastor Stephen Lenny, I didn't see Hillsong at all. I didn't see a single Hillsong. I didn't. I didn't see a single Riverview or a single other great mighty Bethel. I didn't see any of them. First church I saw was yours. It's not Hillsong's job to reach this community. It's not Bethel's job. It's not Riverview's job. Whose job is it? Our job. Whenever I go to Africa, we oversee 20 churches in Africa. I go there every year. They really sort me out, man. They make me realise what is important and what is not important.
Yes, amen.
And, you know, they all want to come and live with me. We want to come and live with you, Pastor. I said, no, you don't. It's expensive to live here.
Yes.
Right. We could buy a block of land over there for $1,500. A block of land where we are is $4 million. That makes them want to stay pretty quick. I said, God has called you here. God has called you here in Uganda or here in Kenya or here in Ethiopia or here in Eden Hill. God has called you to this place. And the day is going to come with a right and left ventricle in the middle of your chest will stop beating. That's just the way it is. And you'll be wandering through the halls of heaven. Will there be regrets that you didn't reach more people? Revelation tells me there will be no more sorrow, no more tears, no more sadness, no more pain. So I'm not sure. Theologically I can't, but in my head I go, man, I wonder if I'm going to regret not being able to reach as many people as I could. Maybe an Oscar Schindler regret. Anyone seen Schindler's List? You know, where at the end he'd reached and saved 1,400 Jews from the concentration camps. And as he was walking out, a bankrupt man, he had given millions of Deutschmarks. And he cried his eyes out, looking at the golden Nazi pin, looking at the black car. I could have got 2, maybe 1 of this pin. I could have got 10 for the car. These people need you to reach them if you can. Now, just out around here, there are a whole bunch of people who want you to close down. They don't want you here. They don't like God, they don't like church. That's the way it is. Yep. You've got to set your face like a stone. Isaiah 50, verse 7. Set your face like a stone, determined to do His will, knowing that you will triumph. That's a prophetic word about Christ. Because it doesn't matter what they want. We all know what cigarettes do to you. You've seen the cigarette packets. I don't even show them now, but people still have durries, right? They still have durries. Hopefully not around the petrol bowser. Right? They still have it, even though it's bad for your health. They still light up. We know how dangerous it is to talk on our phones whilst we drive. We know how dangerous it is, but we still do it. So for me, I'm very aware of the extremely intelligent and powerful people that live right around my church. They don't threaten you there, they just sue you there. Thanks for that. They just do. It is a difficult deal. They don't need God, they don't need anything. But I just go, I know you say that, but in my heart of hearts, I know you need Christ. I know you need Christ. It's freedom that He brings. It's an amazing freedom that He brings to us. We just need to keep making Christ known. Knowing Him ourselves personally, that's the most important thing. Because you can't bring a Christ to a lost world if you're lost. You know, you need to be getting Christ into your world, loving Him what He does, what He's done for you, getting Him stirred up in your heart. That's really, really important. So I'm also, sadly, for some people here, I'm also a Hawks fan. My dad played for Hawthorn in 1948. Right, so it's in my DNA, it's in my blood. Cut my arm open and just mahogany and gold pour out. So, you know, my dad's dad lived in Glenferrie in 1925 when Hawthorn joined the then VFL, and he supported Hawthorn his whole life. And in July 1961, my grandfather, my dad's dad, whom I never met, passed away, went to be with the Lord. And in September 1961, Hawthorn won their first premiership. There's hope for you Fremantle fans. Right? There is hope. Everyone goes, oh, Hawthorn this, Hawthorn that. 1925 they joined, 1961 they won their first. Do the math. It's a long time. It's a long time of nothing. So you'll get there. You'll have your run. You'll have your time. But at the moment it's my turn. We have a trinity of premierships. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So one of my, as I might have already alluded to, one of my other things I enjoy is military history. It's a terrible thing. Terrible thing. I've always been interested in military history. That's what I read on my holidays. I don't read it during the ministry year because it's all just blown up and people dying and Hitler and Stalin and whatever else. But I do gain a lot of my leadership lessons through military history. People think that's terrible. I understand that. I have people tell me that all the time. But the deal is, you know, if I do something wrong in my church, unless it's criminal, the worst that can happen is I'll get sacked. That's the worst that can happen. Military history, you do something wrong, make an error, people die. So I want to learn from the guys and girls that had to make the toughest decisions under the toughest pressure and try and learn from the good decisions they made and the bad decisions they made. We should learn from good people around us and learn from bad people around us. Learn to be like that and learn to not be like that. I'm not pointing to you, brother and sister. And so for me, I will look towards people who won and lost. A lot of time you'll hear Americans talk about their history, and they always joined the world wars late and then started every other war after that. Never mind. And they always talk about this person and that, they're heroes, but they just won. All they did was win all the time because they came at a time where the enemy was their weakest. And so they just had their wins. Sorry. I'm also talking about Chester Nimitz. Chester Nimitz, he had a year of losing before he started winning. You've got a German named Erich von Manstein. He had 2 years of winning and then 2 years of losing. Georgy Zhukov, a Russian gentleman, he had 2 years of despicable losing and then 2 years of great winning. And what I do is I want to read them when they're losing. Because as a Hawks fan, when you're winning, AFL's great. But you just re-watch those finals all the time without thinking. I just re-watch it, come to tell me again, bang, I'll watch it again. Because it's winning. Ask me how many times I watched the Eagles versus Hawthorn qualifying final. I was at the game and I haven't looked at it since. Because no one wants to talk about losing. We don't want to go there. But I want to learn from those leaders who are being overrun, being overwhelmed, being oppressed on every side. That's what Paul wrote. We are oppressed on every side. We are knocked down and we get up again. Proverbs says you get knocked down 9, you get up 10. And so I read that and I go, well, I've got to steel myself for whatever challenge comes my way. Steel yourself for whatever challenge comes your way. I ask myself often, what situation would cause me to walk away from my faith in Christ? Because I need to be aware of that sucker. I need to be aware of that thing. And set some armour, set a little electric fence there, a few landmines. Protect myself in that space. I don't hang out there, I don't daydream there. But I'm aware of it. I have defences set up. There is nothing that will cause you to lose your faith in Christ. Oh, but Pastor Darren, you don't realise I was at the end of my rope. But when I read Hebrews, it says, Jesus Christ is the Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and the end. So when you're at the end of your rope, Jesus is there waiting for you. How cool is that? He hangs around at the end of your rope. So when you get to that place, he's already there waiting for you. You say, come on. Come on. You can be down, you can be sad, you can have a hard day like these war history guys. But what I do is I set myself 24 hours in the morning. But more than those in the morning, Bible talks about it. That's whatever you have, set yourself some time in the morning, and that's it. I'm up, I'm at it. My church cannot afford for me to be down, disappointed, discouraged. So I need to be up. So I give myself some time to be like, we failed there. Okay, it's all but when we go wrong, how can we fix it? Let's get cracking. Cool beans? Because the church is the light of the world. No one else is reaching people for a Christ-filled eternity. No one else. In time, the phone you've got, that Apple phone, in time that company will end. Microsoft or Trump Tower. In time, all of those things will be gone. There is only one organisation which will not be gone. And that's the organisation called the church. That will live on. It will live on. And when I read Isaiah, it tells me that at the end there will be this massive feast. And there will be the best food, the best beverages, the best joy. It'll be fantastic. And we'll be just feasting together. I just can't get away from this little feeling that inside I'll be going, could we have reached some more? Could we have reached some more? Or will we be, darn it, why did I give that $5,000 to Kingdom Builders? Could have kept it for myself, gone to the AFL Grand Final. That's what it costs you. It costs you $5,000 to go to the AFL Grand Final. I did my math. See, we had a young lady named Trixie come to our church. She's German, funny enough. I knew more about Germany than she did. Bill Coleman, I said to her when she walked in, and she'd speaking in tongues. Did you speak in tongues? No, it's just German. She didn't know Christ. She was anti-Christ. She hated God, hated the church, but because she was working for someone, she honoured them and came along. She came to our church for 6 months until she had to go back home. And we just loved her, we encouraged her. We had a couple of new Christians classes, which we call Discovery. One on Jesus, one on the Holy Spirit, simple as that. And we just got her coming along, just told her how fantastic she was, showed her the Bible, had fun, did all the normal things. And I'll never forget the Sunday before she left. We had a salvation call in a church setting, not much undifferent to this one. She raised her hand and asked Christ to go on. Because years ago, we put finance into the church. You know, people have put, some of the people that gave aren't even in our church anymore. They've moved to Melbourne or moved to the USA, or they gave and they have an investment in this young lady who gave her life to Christ. And I still remember that hard, rock hard shell, hard person. And all of a sudden, she's soft, bawling her eyes out, asking Christ in life. To quote a German word, wunderbar. Means wonderful. It's a cool thing. And you know, and then there's Raya, another lady who lives in our community. I mean, who prays? Do you pray for your community? Yeah. And nothing happens, right? You pray for your community and nothing happens. Hey, I've been in church a long time. I've seen it all. I know it all. You can't tell me anything that has happened that I haven't seen or experienced. I've seen it all. AGMs where there's blood on the floor. I've been there. But we pray for our community and nothing happens. Well, that's a lie. Something happens. When you pray, all you need is a little mustard seed of faith and go, Lord, I know you're going to reach people that we can't reach. It is our job to be a great, bright, amazing church. It is your job to save them. Lord, help us connect with them in any way we possibly can. And this lady, Raya, she lives around the corner from our church, never been, no one knows her, we've never seen her before, nothing. She's reversing out of her driveway. I'm telling you this from her own mouth. She's reversing out of her driveway and she says a prayer to the universe. I don't know. She reverses out and she goes, universe, I'd like to meet someone from that church down the road there. And then she drives off to Crawley to go for a run on the beach. And she drives back up to her run and she pulls up at the cafe where we had lunch. She pulls up at the cafe and jumps out to grab a coffee before going home. And while she grabs that coffee, she's sitting at the table reading the paper and she looks up and awkwardly locks eyes with this couple on the other side of the table who are also waiting for their takeaway coffee, who happen to be our young adult leaders. And they, you know, when you lock eyes, like, gotta say something now. Hi, good to see you. What are you up to this morning? And she goes, oh, I don't really want to tell you, but I went for a run down the beach there. And then she goes, well, I better ask you something. So what are you doing today? Oh, we're just going to church. We go to that church just there. The universe answered my prayer. So I tell her that. So the universe answered your prayer. Put up your hand if you think she prayed theologically correct. It just shows you if your heart's right. It doesn't matter.
Amen.
It doesn't matter if you rubber Sunday or whatever it is. I don't care. Just pray.
Yes.
You pray with an honest heart. Boom.
Yes.
Oh, God answered the prayer. Comes to church next Sunday. Boom. Hand up. Gives a lot to Christ. Because on the very first day we started our church, we started Kingdom Builders. No one else gave except my wife and I. And our daughters are expensive, I've already told you that. We can only afford $50. Kingdom Builders just August just gone, we raised 160,000. From 50. Don't let 160 freak you out. Don't go, we're going to do that. God loves the way things start small.
Yeah.
You need to be going, okay, Lord, because it's not about the amount. It's about growing an oak tree of generosity in your house. In our church, we have a policy. I apologise, hopefully I don't break anything here. We have a policy. We never, ever pray for people to give money. Never. Because our people are generous. If they've got it, they'll give it. So what is our prayer? That our people will be blessed. Psalm 115 verse 14. The Lord wants to increase you more and more, both you and your children. What does the Lord want to do? He wants to increase you. What is God's intent? To bless and increase you. If you've got nothing, how can you give anything? You can't. Right? So we want to see you blessed. Not so you can give it all, so you can give some. Honor the Lord. Boom. And so we put finance into specific things which bring increase to our church. And once people start giving into the house of God, they start praying because they're interested. If you put investment in a company, you start looking in the newspaper. How's my investment going? That's right. I'm heavily invested. We saved up to replace our kitchen. Our kitchen's terrible. Really bad. We saved up twice. Twice, Pastor Stephen, when we saved up twice, and twice the Lord says, yeah, I want you to give that. So for another year, I'm there with the Yorkshire Settling toasting my bread. I just sat back. Do you feel bad for me? Except in the summer, we can save money on that. We just put the magnifying glass into the window. Just toast the bread that way. Fantastic. Get up at 4 a.m. Everyone's got toast by 7. But in November last year, we got our kitchen redone. Lord didn't say anything. I didn't tell him that I was saving away some money. I didn't tell him. And before that, 3 times we saved up for our driveway to be replaced. Our driveway next to it. There's nothing wrong with the driveway. The car doesn't care. Still haven't replaced the driveway. Lord's at point. So this is an important deal. I'm going to ask you a very personal question. As a lawyer, I've spoken to you before. Listen. I guarantee you pray about kingdom builders and say, Lord, separately from spouses, and we come together to talk about it. Lord, what do you want me to do with regard to this kingdom builders plan? How much He will speak to you, and you will hate it. You will! But if you hear from God on it, you can't blame your pastors. What a cool deal. I'm off the hook. I'm set free. Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And when you pray about kingdom builders, it is now between you and Him. And if He says to you, I want you to do this, you do it. Because if it's His will, it's His bill. He'll make it happen. I'm telling you, this is not anything to freak out about. This is something to get excited about. All throughout Scripture, we see great churches built, great churches established because of people's giving. Even in the New Testament, we see people selling land and giving the funds. We see people doing a little bit of a swindle, dodgy thing in Acts 5. Let's not go there. But don't do that. Hear from the Lord and give honestly and truthfully. God will provide. We seek the Lord about this all the time, and I'll come to my wife and I'll say, babe, I think it's this amount. She is always double the amount I hear from God. Double every time. If I feel like God's saying $3,000, I'll go to her and she'll go $6,000. And the Lord just goes, see, you didn't hear from him. Deaf. She just steps up, stirs me up, gets me into a great place. Cody, let's check that first scripture up, brother. Oh, look, the house screen's back here. Sorry. The scripture. I'll show it.
All right. Okay.
It's coming?
It's coming.
Excellent. Now, whip through a couple of scriptures here. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. My mum used to threaten me with a version of the scripture my whole life. Can't remember this one. Anyway. Job 121 says that. Ecclesiastes 5:15. We all come to the end of our lives as naked and empty-handed as on the day we were born. We can't take our riches with us, as opposed to the Egyptians or the Mongols or other cultures where they would pour great riches into the tombs of their departed kings and leaders, believing they would be able to take them with them. But then tomb raiders and robbers would come later on and have a boom, a great blessing, as the Lord rewarded them for their digging. Yeah? Because you can't take it with you, right? When your ticker stops, someone else gets your stuff. Yeah? That's true. Psalm 49 verse 17, for when they die, they take nothing with them. Their wealth will not follow them into the grave. Next one. 1 Corinthians 7:31, those in frequent contact with the things of this world should make good use of them without becoming attached to them. For this world and all it contains will pass away. Do you have any more? Do I have? There's one more. Next. For we brought nothing into the world, and contain nothing out of it. What is the theme in all these verses? The theme is, what we have is actually not ours.
Yes.
What we have is actually not ours. We do not own anything. Oh, I own this. No, you don't. You are just a manager of it. You look after it. You manage it well or you manage it poorly. Whatever. We don't own a single thing. Everything we have is somebody else's. Nothing we have is ours. And so I want to encourage you that let's not hold on and grasp on and say, I'm going to just keep everything for myself. Let's find a way to begin to grow ourselves in a generous way of reaching out and blessing others. Am I the pastor of my church? I am. Most of you, I don't think, other than the couple I pointed out earlier from my police station, I've never seen you before. Right? So I'm not invested in you at this point. But in our church, which we started with 12 adults and 4 kids, on October 27, 2002, in a little restaurant on the grounds of the University of WA, and now it's, I don't know, 300 odd members. There's still people wondering who the odd one is. I know who they are. Do I love my church? Do I love them? I love them dearly. Do I want to get every cent out of them? Of course I don't. I want to be blessed. One of the things I'm always saying to my church is, when is your next holiday? Are you driving this? Have you got a plan to upgrade your car? Have you got? Yeah, no. Oh, buy some new clothes. Because you always feel good when you buy new clothes. Whenever you buy a pair of shoes, buy a new pair of socks as well. Because when you've got new shoes and new socks, you just feel like a floating man. I've got this hoverboard. You lost it. Right? My wife is into fashion. She has a fashion account on Instagram with like 10,000 followers. I mean, she gets called from companies all around the world who send her stuff to promote. It's just the thing she does on the side. I do military history, destructive, she does like fancy gear. But it costs money, because whenever she goes to a fashion event, she has to wear something new, apparently. I know you're Trixie, ladies. But I love my church. I do not want to destroy them. I don't want them poor. I don't want them to put every coin they've got. I don't want that. I want to see them blessed. Your pastor's the same. Although I'm preaching here this morning, I was at my church at 6 a.m. this morning. And I'm walking up and down my stage going, Lord, bless these people. We have the best church, other than you guys, of course. The best church. Bless them, Lord, increase them. I walk through the kids' church, praying, blessing over there. I think I check my phone. I've got a pedometer on my phone. How many steps have I done? 4,902 steps. That's all I'm already. That's not bad. Just rubber shutdowing over these guys, whom I won't even see today. Your pastors don't want everything from you. They want to see their community reached. They want this church shining brightly so it can reach as many as you possibly can. The purpose of Kingdom Builders, our church, the purpose, is to prepare for our future. It's like saving for a home or saving for a university degree or something like that. And as I've said already, we started in 2002 with a $50 startup. And we just slowly, gradually increased. Every year I come to the Lord as it's getting closer to Kingdom Builders. I come to the Lord and say, I think it's probably time. This year we can have a break from Kingdom Builders. Let's give the people a break. Let them save up for that holiday. What do you reckon, Lord? This year, give them a break, give them a year off. And the Lord speaks to me the same every single time. He says this, get on with it. Nothing else. He's not nice when he says it. It's not in a song. There isn't a lovely beat. Get on with it. So I get on with it. And then I get up this other voice. This other voice is from another guy. And he always says the same thing every year as well. He grabs my prayer, my other prayer to God, and he says, this is going to be your last year of community. This year your giving is going to be so poor. It's going to be so average because you know the financial circumstances of your people. You know Bob and Mary are struggling. You know their businesses are struggling. You know this situation. You know that. And he tells me all the situations that I know. And he goes, this year is going to be your last year. You watch. When that result comes in, you're going to be so disappointed. How many words did I just say there? I said a lot. How many words did God say? Get on with it. One word more than the number of premierships Hawthorn won in a row. Mind you, the Sunday after we won last, I didn't say anything about church. We got Hawks fans there, and Eagles fans. They'll kill me. They'll kill me. See that cross? You shouldn't have a cross up here. They'll know you. God just says get on with it. But the devil just goes blah, 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 blah. Always. That's why I grabbed these scriptures. I grabbed the word of God. Jesus didn't go, oh, please, stop saying bad things about me, devil. He didn't. He just brought the word of God that was deep in his heart and said, you may be quoting facts to me because they are facts. Bob and Mary's business is struggling. That's a fact. And I know that other situation and this other situation, they're facts. Truth is, amen. Set my face like a stone, determined to do his will, knowing I will triumph. Because the Lord wants to increase us more and more, both us and our children. So I say, shut up, devil. Lord, bring blessing to Bob and Mary's business. Amen. Bring increase. Lord, I pray you bring great clients to them. Clients that actually pay their bill. That would be a novel idea. Bills that are outstanding, let them be squashed. Whatever. I pray all of those things to bless their business because Bob and Mary are very important to us. Fantastic people. Blessing. They actually don't exist. I'm just bringing up random people. But they are real. So it sets up our future. Our church bought an investment house, a property, in 2007 because where we are in Dalkeith, as I said, a block of land just for a house is $4 million. To buy a building to put a church on, it's going to be way more than that. So if I had way more than that, I wouldn't be spending it. I'd be finding some other way to do more things. So we lease a building where we're at, but to stay in the real estate market, we buy an investment property. And we rent it out. And we redid the kitchen on it before we redid my kitchen. You can see generosity right there. So we rent it out. I don't have anything to do with it. It just gets done. But the deal is our church always has this fallback. We always have this opportunity. If we pay it off again sometime soon, we'll buy another one. Oh, but wouldn't you rather just be debt-free? I want to keep growing the church. You know, I went on long service leave last year and being a war history guy, I travelled around Europe. And it is a bit disappointing to see lots of these fantastic churches that are now just tourist organisations, but a good portion of them have great preaching. I can't understand any of it, but they sound like they're preaching from it. And I look around and I look for the mark stone, the foundation stone, and it always says something like 905 or 1287 or 1565. And I look at that, wow. Someone back in 1565 or 908 or 12 whatever, a whole bunch of people back then gave generously. A whole bunch of people back then gave generously to see this house built so that it could reach all the people around and bring them eternal hope. Because you've got to remember, back in those eras, Her life was pretty dark, right? There was no electricity to start with, so it was very dark. But they brought light to their world, their community. Where are they now? Where are those people? Hebrews 12. Massive cloud of witnesses looking down on us going, come on! You can do it! You can do this thing! Are they disappointed? Are they regretting? Gave those couple of shekels. Should have kept it. No! They are glad to see that kingdom, that house built. And now, still today, the gospel is preached there. Sacre-Cœur in Paris. I remember hearing this French, he was African, but he was speaking French, and he was preaching about the Holy Spirit. I could tell the Holy Spirit was pretty obvious. He was fired up. It was fantastic. So it's God's kingdom we're in. I mean, when we used to rent a hall. I was talking about before we had our lease building and our sign up permanent. We used to rent a hall for our church, and so it was there one day, gone the next, right? And I remember we did this as part of our Kingdom Builders. We did this big Christmas program, and part of the Christmas program was to do a Christmas truck. So some of the funds that we had went towards hiring this huge flatbed truck, and I won't go into too much detail, but basically putting Christmas carols in the back of the truck. We had a 5-vehicle parade. We had it all licensed and government approved, and all that. And we drive around at 3 kilometres an hour through our streets over 3 nights, singing Christmas carols and giving out lollies. This is in Dalkeith, right? Normally they have people knocking on their door saying, give us something. We go past their door saying, here, there's some lollies. What? Let me give you something. I don't want you, mate. Nick off. What? They couldn't handle it. People were jumping out of their swimming pools. Huge swimming pool. Jumping out of their swimming pools and walking along with us. Just because they wanted to be part of it. And then we also ran this great service in our church. And we hired some props to add to the spectacle and all that. And when I was taking the props back to a business, a higher business not far away from our church, the boss there, he's going, writing down, signing off, condition of the gear, yeah, that's fine. She said, oh, mate, what did you want all this gear for? I said, oh, it was just props for our Christmas church service that we had. We're in the town hall there and, around that time. In Dalkeith? I said, yeah. I've lived in Dalkeith for 20 years. I've never seen you or your church before in my life. That was not encouraging. We've been there for like 8 or 9 years. In that hall, putting a sign up, putting flags. We're doing it all. And he hadn't seen us, and he's lived there for so long. I said, oh, we also did that Christmas truck, that parade. And oh, I saw that. That was fantastic. Oh, that's all nice. We've been in church, in that hall, for 8, 9 years. Sign up, sign down, and you've never seen us. We do a Christmas carols truck. Look at our lollies, and he sees us. That's what Kingdom Builders does. Gets you into the faces of the people in a really quality, good, gentle, sweet lolly way. Reaching our community, that's what we're doing. We do it through our Christmas events, high school ministry. I mean, we started a ministry in our local high school. They asked us to come in. And if we wanted, we could have 100 kids come to our youth group. But we don't want that. Because we don't want it to be a spiritual churchy thing at this point. We want to build a great rapport with the school at this point. So we just want to go in there and help them, serve them. How do we do that? We do that by Kingdom Builders funds, help to support their people. So where Kingdom Builders help our building, they help us put up signs and fix leaks and add instruments and add sound equipment and do all of these things over and above our normal tithe and offering. We also do things like reaching out to our local community. I mean, one of the events we ran was a young adults event just recently. It was a charity event to raise money for a group called Youth Focus, which is a secular government-approved organisation to help with youth suicide. Not to help youth commit suicide, but to help them not. That's the real thing right there. And so we asked them, could you send one of your youngsters along who have been helped through your work? And so then as we donate funds into Youth Focus, we can be encouraged by her story. Her name is Dakota. She comes along, shares her story, everyone's inspired. We raised, I think it was $5 or $6 grand for Youth Focus, which was great. And one of our young adults Says to her, hey, why don't you come to church on Sunday? And this girl, Dakota, goes, sure. She comes along to church on Sunday, and we get the salvation call. She puts her hand up to the front and says, I don't know. I didn't even know she was there. But Dakota's darkness is now light. That's a cool deal. That's a cool deal. Well, we talk about upgrading assets. Always important to upgrade assets. Restore God's house. I love, we don't have scripture for it, but 2 Chronicles 34. Read 2 Chronicles 34 about Josiah, how he becomes king at 8 years of age. And the first thing he does is start learning how to seek the Lord whom David had served. And so he starts learning how to seek the Lord. By the time he's been king for 8 years, 16-year-old, he decides all this gear we've got around our place is bad. Baal and Asherah poles and pagan worship. He cleans that all out. And in no time at all, another 4 years later, so he's 20 by this stage, he goes, you know what? The temple down the road is a mess. It's absolutely wrecked. It's full of rubbish. It's full of junk. It's been used by animals and possums and feral cats. Let's get in there and clean up God's house. So he raises money and puts money towards this guy named Hilkiah the priest. He gathers up a team and they get in there and they start cleaning out the house of God, the temple. And what happens then? As they're getting rid of all the rubbish and all the junk out of the house of God, they come across this scroll. Probably Deuteronomy. They come across the word of the Lord, and Hilkiah runs up to the king and says, "You found the word of the Lord." The word of the Lord had been lost to them for generations because the house of God had been left to rack and ruin, and the word of, they just made their own decisions according to their own will. Suddenly they find the word of the Lord, and they start reading it aloud. Josiah gathers all the people, and they read Deuteronomy. Think about that. And they all loved it. Because, I told you about how I read my war history on my holidays, right? If I've got 3 weeks off, I'll read my war history for 2 weeks. They'll get bored of it then because it is pretty distracting. That last week, I cracked my word out again. All that war history written by great writers. I love history. Love it. All that goes straight into my head. Good info. When I read God's word, it goes, boom. It just resonates. I feel inside me this fire, this faith, this leaping hope jumping up within me. I realise that God is for us, not against us. And I come back to work absolutely. We also do some mission things, which are fantastic. It's not just about us, it's about others. Last verse before we finish. Matthew 6. Do I need to give you a warm-up for that? Sorry about that. Matthew 6, 19 to 21, Jesus says, don't. Everyone say don't. Okay, in the original Greek, that is a word that's called absolutism. An absolutism. Our culture says there's no such thing as an absolute, but that word in original Greek is an absolutism. Absolutely don't. Don't. Just giving you the original Greek. Don't store up treasures here on earth because we're just still not out. Right? They're just going to be used by somebody else. Don't store up treasures here on earth where they can be eaten by moths and get rusted and where thieves break in and steal. See the moth there, sorry, jump back one more. Back to 19. The moths there was a consumer. It would grab hold of our gear, it would grab hold of our clothing and chew up what was there. They were very aware of moths in their culture. And then rust, the environment we're in will just cause us. I mean, in your walk with God, if you're not coming to church, if you're not getting into the Word, if you're not finding a way to get some prayer happening in your world, you will get dusty. Whose car needs a clean? My car needs a clean. It's in a garage, for goodness sake. How can it possibly get dirty? Just by driving around. It gets covered in dust. Our walk with God gets dusty. And this deal here shows us that just by living in this fallen environment, we get rusty. Right? And then lastly, where thieves break in and steal. The robbers of selfishness. To come and we think we're keeping, the robber is actually stealing. So we go to the next verse as Jesus continues to explain it. He said those things for a purpose. Store your treasures in heaven, where they will never become moth-eaten or rusting, or where they will be safe from thieves. I know of a guy who went to a sports auction, and he bid, I think it was 4.5 or 5.5 grand, Pastor Stephen, when I can't remember exactly, it was 4.5 or 5.5 grand. He bid on a Don Bradman signed and used cricket bat. He won one of his last games. Don Bradman signed, he used in this game, signed, worth a mint. He bid on it, won it. He was doing some, hang on, he was doing some renovations in his house, so he took the bat and a number of other valuable things and put it in his shed in the drive for safekeeping. The renovations, as usual, they're meant to take 4 weeks, they take 8. And tradesmen, right? Eventually they finish, he goes to get his valuables, he grabs the cricket bat, and he comes away with the handle. He's only got pavers. And up through the crack in the pavers come a whole bunch of little white fellas named termites going, oh, we love this stuff, it's so soft. It's got this lovely olive oil on it. Consumed. He's left with it, so now he just displays the handle. He's got nothing else to show for it. He hates it when I talk about this stuff. Everyone else goes, right, yeah, get it. Yeah, we need to, but he's going, God, we don't need to know that story. Just brings it back. He's not here today. I should have brought him, shouldn't I? Hey, Mom, come. I'm going to tell you a story again. No. Store up your treasures in heaven. It mucks me around because I'm thinking, no, that's not meant to be our intent for giving. Our intent for giving is because we want to honour the Lord. But that's been no benefit to us. We're just honouring the Lord. But the Lord tells us, I want you to build up great treasure. I'm sure that treasure is humans. The currency in heaven is people. The currency in Uganda is shillings. The currency in England is pounds. And in Europe it's euro. But in heaven, it's people. You want to carry a whole back pocket full of gold into heaven? It's going to be humans. It's going to be that girl that got saved that people got saved through making your church. Sorry, the last part of that verse. You heard this one before. Wherever your treasure is there, your heart and thoughts will also be. That's to tell us, don't be discouraged, don't be disappointed. Don't be angry as you give. Don't be resentful. Don't be like, Darren, yeah, don't do that. Be cheerful, give. Lord, I'm excited about what you're going to do in this gift and reaching and blessing these people. Because all around this community there are people who desperately need Christ. They just don't do it. Lastly, I can't see any time, brother, so yeah, we're done. Lastly, can my involvement make a difference? Anyone here heard of a guy named Edward Kimball? Put your hand up. You heard of Edward Kimball? When you heard of Edward Kimball? Edward Kimball was a devoted youth and kids leader in his church in 1855. And he wasn't an outgoing man. He wasn't well spoken. They thought they'd put him in the kids and youth area because they weren't that worried so much. And he would give a salvation call whenever he did kids and youth ministry, and usually it didn't have much effect. On the 21st of April 1855, he decided he was going to go and do a personal visit to one of his young guys who was mucking around during youth group. And he thought he would go and have a chat with him and have a personal opportunity to share Christ with him again. This kid was working part-time in a shoe store, so he walked up and he waited until he had a break from his work and said, Dwight Moody, I just want to share with you that Christ loves you and you need to ask him into your life. Light shone into D.L. Moody's heart and he accepted Christ into his life. D.L. Moody became one of the greatest evangelists in our history and evangelised both the UK, Europe and the US. Today there is a Moody Church, there is a Moody Institute, and my wife and daughters are often Moody, so obviously he's had a great impact around the world. Moody in one of his preaching sessions, he reached a guy named Frederick Brotherton Meyer. If you're going to have a son one day, call him Brotherton. There's a great opportunity there for you. He reached this guy, Meyer, for Christ. Meyer got all fired up and he started evangelising. He reached a guy named Wilbur Chapman. Chapman became a very effective evangelist, and he led a professional baseball player to Christ. That baseball player was Billy Sunday. Billy Sunday ran a whole heap of evangelistic meetings in a place called Charlotte, North Carolina. A whole bunch of people got saved and a brand new church started in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the believers decided to invite a missionary by the name of Mordecai Ham to come and do more meetings because Billy Sunday had left. So Mordecai Ham, this missionary, came, ran more meetings. This was in 1932, and a young 16-year-old punk named Billy Graham turned up and invited Christ into his life. Anyone heard of Billy Graham? Anyone heard of Edward Kimball? Right. Who cares if the world and history don't know about you? Jesus does. He knows you're a kingdom builder. He knows you're interested in seeing his house expand and people be blessed and reached for him. Because in the end, what else matters? Our lives here on earth are for one reason, to prepare ourselves for eternity. That's it. Who can we reach? Who can we bless? So I want to ask, be involved. Because as a result of Billy Graham being reached through Edward Kimball, millions upon millions of people have come to Christ as a result. Millions have come to Christ. And we've got that example in our church. This person got saved, they reached that person, they reached that person, they reached that person. All because one person got reached. Let me pray for you, and then we're done. Lord, we just thank you for these folks. Lord, I pray, first of all, that you would switch off that terrifying voice in their heart that says, I can't, we can't. This is going to be the end. Lord, we pray right now, switch off fear. Switch off fear and concern and turn on faith. Lord, turn on excitement about what this church is going to do in this community. Lord, there is no one else around who has such a great responsibility as these folks. I pray, Lord, that as this Kingdom Builders program goes ahead over these coming weeks, that it won't just stir up finances, because what are finances? It's nothing. They have no soul. They have no heart. But instead it would stir up the people. It would stir up their prayer. It would stir up their desire to reach more, to see their church added to and increased and in value. And Lord, not just this year, but the years to come. Lord, that as maybe we come and visit in another 5 or 6 years, we will just see 2 services running in this building because there are too many people. Lord, that their community has just been reached so much because this anointing of giving, this anointing of generosity, this anointing of kingdom building was released 2015. Lord, I thank you for these people. I pray, switch off fear, switch on faith, and let's see what the Lord wants us to do. I ask that in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. You want me to continue? The boss has asked me to do tithe and offering. I've never had to preach and then do tithe and offering before, so this is we have a scripture, Exodus 23, verse 19. As you harvest each of your crops, bring the choice sample of the first day's harvest. It must be offered to the Lord your God. I know it's Old Testament. People say, oh yeah, but Jesus is fulfilled the Old Testament. But if he's fulfilled the law, then we obviously no longer have to honour and obey our parents, do we? Murder's okay now, right? No, it's not. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to bring our first fruits to the Lord. Because I've learned a valuable lesson by bringing my best, my first fruits to the Lord. He then blesses the rest. Yes. When I bring my best, he blesses the rest. When I keep my best, he says, okay, it's up to you, man. Go for it. And so I found that even in little things, the Lord helps me. You know, we finished our police days. We were up north, and we came back and we had a car to drive up north, which means it had driven lots of kilometres on hard roads, and it needed to be changed. It started off as like a $12,000, $15,000 car. By the time we finished with it, it was about $12 or $15 car. Right? I needed $2.5 grand for that car. and I needed a car that would, take me for the next 5 years. And so I go to a car yard in Perth, and I say to the guys, I want that car, which is a really nice car, and I want it for that price, and I want you to give me $2,500 for that car. The salesman bursts out laughing. Laughing. That's never a good sign. Because they normally don't want you to come in. He just laughs. And I said, I need to see your manager. I know what I'm doing. And then take me to the sales manager. Take me to the sales manager. I explain the same thing. The sales manager, sitting behind his desk, bursts out laughing. I said, that's rude, don't laugh. He looked at me, he said, Darren, is that your name? He said, just get out. I still said, get out. My wife did not know that I'm such a good worker of the deal. She was shocked that I'd failed so miserably. So I got out. I'm walking out. As I'm walking out, I'm doing this. I'm going, Lord, I'm such a grateful giver you a house. I thought you'd help us out with this deal. I wasn't being negative, but I was just, Anyway, you get it? God will make a way. Wherever the Lord is, He'll make a way. When I give Him my best, He blesses the rest. So I'm walking. I'm walking back to my $12, $15 car, and I'm waiting at the road. The road's here. And the car yard is in two parts. And I look opposite, another person waiting for the cars to pass. And I look up, and that is the owner of the whole massive organisation of car yards. I looked up, and I know what he looks like. I went, hello. As I walk across the road, we catch eyes, as you do, just catch eyes. And he just says to me, hopefully we've been able to help you today. We're all part. And I said, no, you haven't. He stops in the middle of the road. He's really in it. And he came over and says, how come we weren't able to help you? I said, well, I wanted that car, I needed that price. And firstly, your salesman laughed at me, then your sales manager told me to get out. What kind of establishment are you running here, sir? And he goes, I'll fix this. He walks over, looks at that car. Oh, that's a good car. That's actually a good price. We're really not making that much of it. He goes over, looks at my car. I can still remember he opened the back of the wagon and climbed in the back of the wagon. Wow. He looks in and he goes, man, your car's not worth much. I already know that. Come with me, we'll go see the salesman. He walks in, stands in, and he's standing there and he says, Barry, we're going to do this deal. The sales manager and him start having an argument whilst I'm standing there. I mentioned that and said, we can't do this, we're going to lose it. Yeah, that, and all the other things. And he says, Barry, we're doing the deal. Get the contract. Bang. Sign that contract, deal done. I legally stole from the car yard. I'm not that good. I'm not. When I bless the Lord with my best, He blesses the rest. He always has. I've had plenty of opportunity not to give. And it just makes it tough because it's up to me now. I've got to make it happen. It's the same with my psychology. If I submit my emotions to the Lord Jesus Christ, He helps me in difficult times. If I don't, then I'm always upset and discouraged and annoying to everyone. I go, Lord, I'm going to give you my emotions, the best of me, and I ask you to help me with it. And He does. He levels me out. So I ask you today, doesn't matter who, what, or how much, you should do your best. Everything you do. So our finances, our time, our love for ourselves. Is that cool? I pray for you one more time. Lord, bless the people. Lord, I pray you would bless these folks as they generously give. Lord, I pray you would see their faithfulness. I pray you would see their loyalty. Lord, these folks here are extremely valuable to you and they are doing a fantastic job in this community. I pray you would multiply, just as you did with the loaves and fish. Lord, you would multiply what they give into exponential growth in their house and their community. Lord, I thank you for them. Bless their homes, bless their families, bless their pillows. Lord, let their businesses and their jobs increase. I pray your blessing and increase upon them, Lord, because when we give you our best, you bless the rest. So, Lord, I pray you bless their rest. In Jesus' name.